Oh, hello. You've caught me feeling incredibly hungry.
You know, the kind of hunger where it feels like your stomach is digesting itself in an attempt to gain nutrients. The kind that only happens when you accidentally skip a meal, or when you're starting a new diet, or that your pets express whenever it's near a mealtime, as if they've been left starving on a desert island for years, even though they were fed literally half an hour ago. Weren't you, Mr. Tibbles, you ungrateful little...
Maybe I was too harsh on my pets after all.
But the reason why I'm hungry isn't any of those things. It's because I've recently been obsessed with how certain games depict food in a way so incredibly beautiful and appetizing that they make my mouth flood in anticipation. And there's only so much of that the brain can take before it starts to send signals that it's feeling deprived. So in an effort to exercise these hunger demons, I'm going to share a sample platter of the juiciest morsels and prime cuts that made me charge at the TV with teeth bared and cutlery in hand.
Here then are 7 video game foods we want to eat right off the screen.
Just have a snack.
Oh, I'm too hungry to even get up.
The first food in this video game buffet that had me staring longingly at the screen is the citrus fruit in Mafia: The Old Country. To be fair, it could have been any food in this gorgeous rendition of 1900 Sicily, because the spread on display in some of these levels are the sorts of dishes that I regularly dream about anyway.
Fresh bread, arancini, cannoli. Oh, yes, please.
And their in-game depictions look just as delectable. But the thing that stood out the most during my organised crime holiday was the abundance of the most stunning produce I'd ever seen. Oranges and lemons so pristinely perfect they wouldn't look out of place in a Tropicana advert. Beefy tomatoes, perfectly ripe, lounging next to trays of puree drying in the sun. Aubergines fit to burst, reflecting light back at the camera like black ice.
It's all just so lovely.
It doesn't help that the environment seems to be perpetually bathed in sunshine, making everything feel even more wonderful, especially when missions take place in golden hour, adding a nostalgic tinge to everything that almost evokes the first time you ever smelt freshly squeezed orange juice, or the shattering of a crisp roastie.
If it weren't for the organised crime and active volcano, I'd happily move there tomorrow.
Dish number 2 that I want to eat right off the screen is the cheeseburger, seen in the intro of the Resident Evil 2 remake, which has the odd power of making me simultaneously incredibly hungry and slightly nauseous.
It's probably the zombies' fault.
But anyone, meat eater or not, can surely see the remarkable artistry on display from Capcom in this monument to the perfect unhealthy meal. Even if we only get to see it for less than a minute, there's a greasy sheen to the bacon sitting atop the burger that catches the light in such a delicate way, perfectly framing how the American cheese has melted and subsequently re-hardened around the patty into a glorious, congealed mess. This is no dainty gourmet experience. This is a work of truck stop art.
A dish that looks most appealing after a late night in the local tavern.
Even the way the sauce clings to our fateful driver's lips sends pangs of hunger ricocheting through the controller. There's something about a burger as naughty as this that calls out to me in a primal way, beckoning me to shamble over and devour its flesh. Burger.
Ah, I get it now. Very clever, Capcom.
The third game to feature food I want to reach through the monitor and stuff my face with is Monster Hunter Wilds. But because I'm so enamoured by what's on offer across the Forbidden Lands, I refuse to be bullied into choosing just a single item.
Who set this unrealistic expectation anyway?
You did.
No.
Even if I did, I'd happily eat humble pie and say that I was wrong, especially if it was made by Palicos, despite the fact their presence in a commercial kitchen environment seems like a food safety inspector's nightmare. But I'm willing to put all that aside purely just to actually try the otherworldly delights on offer.
Bonjour, monsieur. Today's menu consists of a sautéed delicious and kunafa cheese omelette served with a specialty sealed espuma on a truffe de conga emulsion. Alternatively, we have the turbot shrimp ceviche garnished with monster chili and wild herbs alongside jeweled molletro. Or our most popular dish, the biggest steak you have ever seen.
Yeah, I'll just have all of that, please.
So entry number 4 was suggested by Rosie, and I was so baffled by what she'd chosen that I felt I had to include it, even if it was mainly so I can show everyone else how her brain works. The game is Yakuza Like a Dragon, and the suggestion was a specific piece of bread early on in the game when Ichiban is still in prison.
Now, I admit I don't know that much about Yakuza, certainly not as much as Rosie, but I do know that the food is often quite the spectacle.
I was expecting something like the special bread from Judgment served with bacon and a fried egg inside it. Maybe even some kind of extra buttery croissant. Honestly, even plain white toast would have been reasonable. But instead, it was this.
Now, I won't lie, that's very cool. But really?
You're telling me that in a game filled with oodles of takoyaki, ramen, sushi, and even non-Japanese food like 3-cheese carbonara and chocolate parfait, all of which look absolutely stunning by the way, you're choosing a plain, untoasted piece of bread served in a prison that's on screen for just a few seconds. Even if the bread does tear like that, it's still... Wait, actually, let's just look at that once more.
To be fair, it does look great.
Final Fantasy 15 is the next delivery driver for video game food we would chew through the telly to try, and I'm once again choosing to say all food is the specific food I want to eat. It's not greedy, I just really like food, okay? It's fine.
Especially when it's cooked by Ignis, the greatest chef in video games ever. I won't hear any arguments.
What a dream of a game Final Fantasy 15 is. On a big old road trip with the lads, chillaxing in the car, old Final Fantasy soundtracks on the radio, fishing, camping, beating up Imperials and the local wildlife, then settling down for a plate of delicious everything cooked by the man himself.
I've come up with a new recipe.
One of the most iconic lines of video game dialogue ever.
And then he serves you the food and it all looks just wonderful. Creamy crustacean omelette, garden curry, battered barramundi. Huge effort has gone into the food graphics here. The gorgeous, juicy sheen on the sauce, the fluffiness of the rice, the playful wobble of the eggs as the plate is set. Even the sound of that crockery as it gently lands on the table is just perfect. Final Fantasy 15 has me craving food I don't even like in real life.
Baked beans on toast with a side of sweet corn and anchovies. Thanks, Ignis.
Okay, I made that one up and that actually sounds truly disgusting, but I wouldn't put it past Ignis to somehow pull it off. It's time for the 6th piece of scrumptious video game food now, but this one comes with a bit of a disclaimer. You see, Dragon's Dogma 2 features without a doubt the best looking steak I've ever seen. Not just in a video game, but in real life. Gordon Ramsay, eat your heart out. The sear on that bad boy is so realistic that I am legally required to have it in my face right now.
But the reason it looks so realistic is because it is real.
That's right, director Hideaki Itsuno decided that instead of painstakingly, not a pun, designing the various slabs of beast you can fry up at camp, it would be more efficient to buy real meat, hire a chef to cook it properly, and then film the whole thing. Which is a great idea really, because it means that the players can't ever go through the uncanny valley effect in the cooking scenes because it is actually happening, and that it will likely trigger the same sort of primal hunger pangs we get watching cooking shows.
Also, they definitely ate that after filming, and they probably would have been able to expense it as well. Genius.
Now, I will concede that part of me feels a little uneasy about including this because of its actually real status. It could be argued that it's not within the spirit of the list to compare video game foods that are designed to mimic in real life munch to the genuine article. But I will defend my position by asking 3 very simple questions. Is it food? Easy, yes. Is it in a video game? Despite semantics over whether a cutscene constitutes gameplay, it is undoubtedly in the game in some form.
And thirdly, do I care what you think? No.
It looks yummy, and I want to eat it. End of story. The last game on today's delicious video game food menu is Kunitsu-Gami Path of the Goddess, which is convenient because they're all desserts. It's funny that in a game as off-the-wall as this one, a hack-and-slash escort mission with tower defense elements where you're trying to save the world from people eating mushrooms with legs, my favourite part is spinning a plate of mochi round and round. But anyone that's seen them will understand. There's so much detail in these models that you can lose hours gazing at them when they're stationary, let alone when your eyes are chasing them around the plate. Check out the segment lines on this peach-shaped treat, or the twig whittled into a stem protruding from its centre, and the way its dimpled skin appears to bloom in the light.
If the entries so far have been art, then these sweets belong in the Louvre.
Although they probably go mouldy in real life, so maybe it's better we've got these immortalised versions of historic sweet treats. Fun fact, the reason these look so vivid is they're actually scans of the actual recipes, served for over 200 years by legendary Japanese confectioners Tsuruya Yoshinobu. Not so fun fact, it's in Kyoto, which is very far away from my house.
Looks like boiled sweets are back on the menu, boys.
Well, that was 7 foods we want to eat right off the screen. If this video made you hungry, then make sure to pass on your compliments to the chef by giving it a like, or leave a review about what video game foods we missed in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, while also keeping up to date with all things PlayStation, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, bon appetit, and au revoir.
PlayStation